Welcome back to the Level Up and Live podcast. I'm your host, Sean Meyers, and we're on a mission to empower 100 business owners in 24 months right here in Montgomery County to design a life they don't go to regret without sacrificing health, relationships, or spirituality. We do this through the Level Up and Live Mastermind group built on 5 pillars: accountability, clarity, support, guidance, and community. Today, we've got a very special guest in the studio, Ariel Shacklovitz, sales and finance manager at Revolution Power Sports, a wife, a mom of 5, and a leader who runs a team of more than 10 people. Ariel, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sean.
So Ariel, take us back, our viewers, our audience, our listeners. How did you get into selling Harley-Davidson motorcycles, and what drew you into the world of power sports?
You'll actually find it very amusing. A buddy of mine told me that girls couldn't sell motorcycles.
What?
And yes, he told me that girls could not sell bikes. And I took it as a personal challenge. And I said, you know what? I'm going to prove you wrong. And I'm going to prove everybody else that has that same stigma wrong. And I did. I went out and became one of the best. I set out to have the most knowledge so that everybody who came in to see me knew that I knew my stuff when it came to Harley-Davidson. And I was a very consistent top salesperson. I loved what I did. I loved selling that dream, and that transition right into power sports, getting to do the same thing, giving somebody that type of freedom that comes with enjoying 2 wheels. Now I just do it on 4.
I just do it on 4. That makes me think with when somebody tells you you can't do something, what I'm hearing you say is you basically said, watch this, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Sit back and watch me prove you wrong all day.
Yeah, I love that. And how long did what got you into working at Harley-Davidson's? Was it because of what he said and you just ended up working for Harley-Davidson, or how did you get involved with Harley-Davidson? Worked there for 7+ years?
Yeah, I worked there for just shy of 8 years. And actually, looking back at my childhood, it was always like a staple in my life to have that logo around. It was always a dream of like my dad and his friends, my uncles. They always wanted a Harley-Davidson. It was always something that they had wanted. And then on a whim, actually, I applied for a job there. I actually didn't even start selling motorcycles at the beginning. I sold clothes. And I just got to a point where I was like, man, I really want to transition to something bigger than just a t-shirt and a helmet. I really want to, help people see that dream that I watched all these guys my entire life just shoot for. And so I was like, I could do that. And then my buddy who worked there said, now girls don't sell bikes. And I was like, okay, watch me. I got you. I'm going to go do this. I convinced the sales manager to give me a shot. And it was history in the making, because that's where I found my groove, where I really found what I really love to do, making that dream a reality for somebody who watched, my dad still does not own a Harley-Davidson, but it is still a dream for him. So I let him borrow mine, but it was just one of those things I realized, it's always been there my entire life. And then I just on a whim happened to get a call after applying and went. And then I just really found something I really loved to do. Community, connect with people, the community that comes with, motorcycles in general. And then the same thing comes into power sports too. The community you have in the power sports business is just amazing.
Yeah. What was that moment for you, Ariel, when you fell in love with the freedom of the ride? So you ride motorcycles, you have a Harley. Was there a moment that you were like, this is what I'm in love with, because of that freedom of the ride? And you had made that comment earlier.
Yeah, I think it was, so I've had quite a few bikes in my years, and it was actually not that long ago, I actually just celebrated having my bike for the last 8 years in my garage. And it was the first day I ever rode that bike. I had had some before that. They just weren't right. I was really just reaching and grasping for what looked cool at the time or what I thought really fit me. And then one day I bought this Super Glide on a whim. It was a really great price, and it was low miles. And I was like, you know what? This is the right size. I didn't overdo it. I didn't underdo it. It was just the right bike. And the first day I rode it home, I was like, this is my forever machine. Like, I want to keep it forever. I've done a ton of stuff to it. But it was just, it was finding that right bike, that little right piece of freedom, the quiet that you get with just riding with just your helmet on and the sound of the tires on the road. It's an unmatched feeling. You can't find it anywhere else.
Man, you're making me want to go out and get a motorcycle and ride it on the road.
We can do that. I got some buddies still in the business. I don't think Kendra's going to approve, but I think we could do it.
Yeah. I love that. I want to transition because this is an important topic. A lot of our listeners and audience are business women, entrepreneur women, emerging leaders like yourself, women. And you're a mom of 5, which I've always told you this, very inspirational. That alone is a full-time leadership role. How do you balance being present as a mom while also running RPS and leading the team?
I really find it's a healthy balance. It really is. It's making time for the kids for the things that are important. I try not to miss any football games. I don't miss any band performances. I let my team be very open about the things that are going on outside of this job. Hey, I'm going to be gone on this day. I'm leaving at 4 because I'm not going to miss my son's season opener. I'm going to make sure I'm there. And then we also make it a priority here for all the guys too. Both my salesmen are fathers as well. And we make sure that they're not missing out on any part of their child's life. So we just find a really good balance where we're all able to still accomplish what we want to do here at Revolution, but also be the parents that are present and available for our kids throughout the important things. I'm not going to miss a graduation. I'm not going to miss these little things that I can't get back.
Why is that important to you to not? Because obviously there's conviction in your voice. There's authority in your voice. And I know our listeners and audience can feel that right now. And I know of a lot of people in our community and people listening to this, they want that, Ariel. They want that skill set. They want that confidence to be able to draw the line in the sand, put your foot down, and make this a priority in which you do with your kids. What would be one piece of advice that you would give them to draw that line in the sand, have that non-negotiable, and be able to show up with a little bit of pep in your step, in your voice, and conviction to have that? Do you have any a piece of advice or an experience on what's molded you to be that individual?
It's really building a culture where you are that's built around not just revenue, but it's really built around family. Family has to be a thing, whether it's your family at work or your family at home. Family has to be everything revolves around your family, my work family and then my home family. And so you have to just work out that really nice balance where you find time to make the priorities important. Like I'm not going to miss something that I can't go back to. I can't rewatch my son's kindergarten graduation.
Yep.
It's something that I have to make a priority in my day and my time and my schedule to carve out those times for those moments. And you just have to find it's a very fine line balance, but you just got to make the time in your life to make sure you hold those things that are important to that top priority.
Wow. So beautiful. What's one lesson your kids have taught you that you've carried into your business life at RPS?
Patience. Absolutely. And I think every parent in this who listens to this will just shake their head in agreement. It is patience. Everybody learns at their own speed. Everybody learns in their own way. Everybody's on a different level. And it's just having the patience to find the right direction to give to each person. My son is not going to learn Spanish as fast as my daughter did. And my 5-year-old is not going to learn how to read as fast as my 8-year-old did. But it's finding that fine line where everybody learns different and you can just apply and be patient with them and come down to that level where they may be to help them rise up to the level you need them to be.
Oh man, that's awesome. And that runs congruent in alignment with the business world as well. And I think that's a skill set. It also can be a double-edged sword too. Like when I hear you say patience, my resting heart rate went down. I just got a little bit more peace in my life because I don't, it's not in my DNA. I don't know what patience is. And when I hear you say patience, I'm like, yes, patience. And it's one of the things, Ariel, that I struggle with. I really do, especially in my early stages of leadership. The first 8 years, I did not have any patience. And the people around me, my team, my wife, my family, my friends, they were like, dude, there was such a disconnect because I was always on the go. I was always like, we need to get this done now, and urgency. And sure, it's got its time and place, but I agree with you. And it's such an inspiration to hear you say that. with having that patience, because everybody, like you said, everybody's going to learn differently. They're going to be on their timeline, and just meeting them where they are. That's such a skill set, Ariel. And you apply that. It sounds like you apply that with your team as well.
Absolutely. I have two very different people who work for me, and I have to be able to understand that one's not going to learn something as fast as the other, and one's not going to be up to the level as the other with certain things. And it's just finding that fine balance of, hey, this is a hands-on learner, this is a visual learner. So, patience with them is key all around. And in your entire life, patience is key. Everything, we're so used to this instant gratification that comes with one click on Amazon and something's at your door. We just have to dial that down back into reality and face the fact that everything is not going to be like that in our lives. And we're just going to have to take the time to do it the right way.
Is there a skill set, or is there something that you do when you're in those moments? Because you're the sales and finance manager at Revolution Power Sports here locally in Montgomery County, and you guys are doing big things. You have a strong culture. You have strong leadership team. You guys are fully present on social media. It's because of individuals like you. But however, when I see that, it's, man, these individuals are on the go. They're like creating urgency. They're constantly, consistently. They have got to be on the up and up and up. But everybody's happy. Everybody's moving the needle. Everybody's in unity. Where does that patience show up in the business, and how do you overcome the impatience? So when the impatience kicks in, how do you be patient? I'm just curious for selfish reasons. In those moments, what do you do? Is there a trick? Is there a breath work? Is there an awareness tool? What do you do?
It's really not, I guess it would just be awareness. It's really just paying attention to and getting to know the people around you. Like, you're going to have to know when somebody, you can see the frustration on their face that things are just not going the right way, and bringing them back down, cool-headed, level-headed, and then, just showing them the patience in the moment where they have none, you know. And it's really, I think awareness is going to be the best way I could ever tell somebody. Just be aware, get to know the people that work for you. Like, everybody has things going on and everything outside of work, inside of work, and they may be having a bad morning, but you come to work, you got to do your work, but be open. We have very open conversations here at Revolution Power Sports on what goes on outside of this place. We're all parents, we're all married, we all have our own lives outside of here, but we got to come to work, we got to put our work hat on and get to work. But if we have open communication and just awareness of something going on, and we can dial in our own patience for that person, hey, it's just having a bad day, but that would be my best suggestion. Just be aware of what's going on with your team.
That's really good. And I want individuals and our listeners and viewers to understand what you just said in the last 45 seconds is so powerful. And it's that emotional intelligence to be self-aware. And that's a next level skill set for you to have that. And that's a leadership quality for you to be able to share that. I wish I would have understood that in my teens and 20s. I just have learned that in the last few years, but it really is the next level to have that emotional intelligence, and then that awareness of, oh, I need to meet this person where they are right now. There may be, wherever they're at, they're struggling personally, and then that's coming over to professionally. So I need to be able to meet them where they are, and they're not getting the results that they want to get. I think that's brilliant advice, Ariel. Appreciate you sharing that. So running a team of 10 plus people isn't easy. What have been some of the biggest trials and mistakes along the way, and what did you learn from them at RPS?
I think holding on to an employee that isn't meeting the standard was something we struggled with for a little while in the beginning when I was here. I've been here for just a little over a year, but I think that when we realized that people weren't a right culture fit, we were just still holding out for a little bit too long. Because just because you're good at a job doesn't mean that you fit in well with the team. You still have to bring morale. You still have to bring a lot of other things to the job, just beyond the job itself. And I think that we struggled a little while with that, with hanging on to what necessarily was a good person on paper, but wasn't a good fit for the company overall. And I think we've really narrowed down to finding these culture fit people who also can do the job. And it's really helped us build this incredible team that we have now.
And for our listeners and audience that are business owners that are struggling with culture, struggling to find the right fit, and maybe even have somebody on their team that is just not getting the job done. They're the wrong person, they're in the wrong seat, and they've got a bad attitude, or they're just not good at their job. How did you guys overcome that? What if do y'all have a system and process? How did you overcome that when you found out like, oh, this person is just not a good fit? We're on a bus, we're in the vehicle, but it's just the wrong person in the wrong role. How did you guys overcome that?
We honestly just started moving on to the next person. It's just going to have to be ripping off the Band-Aid. And I know it sounds terrible. And some people are going to be like, it's hard because I have this attachment to this person, or on paper, they do a great job. But at the end of the day, it's not just about them and about what they do. It's about your entire team. And you're going to have to just rip the Band-Aid.
Yeah. It's almost like hiring slow, because I've always heard this: hiring slow, firing fast.
Yes, we do that.
And that's good. And what I'm hearing you say is y'all didn't start out like that, right? No. You just hired, you're trying to fill the role, and then you found out like, oh, this person isn't really a good fit.
Exactly. We trial and error, we're learning as we go, just like every company in the building process. And it is one thing that we have definitely become a non-negotiable at this point here, where, it has to be, it's not just about doing the job. It's really boils down to the culture that you bring and the culture that we're trying to build and the representation that we're trying to have.
So how do RPS and Revolution Power Sports, how do you weed out the ones that would not be a good fit? Do y'all have a system in place or a process? What does that look like?
We do. We actually have what some people have deemed on the internet as a very extensive hiring process. So
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
No. If you've been on Facebook, you'll see it. So we actually request a video. We write this very long, almost like story. We want you to read. We want you to put in the effort and show that you're willing to put in the work from the beginning. Before you even work here for us, you're willing to do the little things, mention a specific word, or send an email, send a video, and just, actually put in the work before you come to work. And it's actually really worked very well for us. We've hired on some fantastic people off of this process. And, these are going to be people who really stick here with us for a while. Like, I have a fantastic detailer, fantastic driver, 2 fantastic technicians, all who came out of this process. And I'm super proud to have these guys a part of the team. And it's just the effort that they put in from the beginning just shows that exactly why we chose them over everyone else who applied.
And just all more reason why we highly recommend Revolution Power Sports to buy all your ATVs, UTVs, because look at the time, energy, and effort that you're going into putting into your team and hiring the best people for the job. And to me, if you're going to do business with somebody, that's who you want to do business with, is a culture like that, a team like that, a business like that. And I think that really tells the story with that hiring process, because you're not just transactional. You're not just trying to hire somebody to clean bikes. You're not just trying to hire somebody to sell ATVs or UTVs. You're actually finding the right people in the right seats that believe in the vision, the mission, and core values like you do. And that right there in and itself is what people buy into, from my experience. The byproduct of everything that we just mentioned is the machines. It's a beautiful machine, just like a house or just like any service or product that we get. But ultimately, why do people do business with other businesses? Because it's who they know, like, and trust. And I think that tells a story when you hire the right people in the right seats, because then you can build off that foundation with your team, and man, you become an unstoppable force. You have any thoughts on that?
I love it. I love that is what we can portray out into Conroe, Montgomery County, and to any of our customers or future customers, that we are willing to put in the effort to put in the right people in these right places, because we want, when you come to us, to be the trusted place that you've decided to buy. We want you to become part of our family here that we've built. That's really the goal,
Yeah. Here recently, one of the biggest things that I'm a big believer in is Google My Business. And for a lot of our business and emerging leaders that are trying to, I hear so many business owners nowadays, they're really struggling, Ariel, with leads. They're really struggling with, how do I create this marketing advertising machine? And here recently, we rolled out a contest, I believe it was last month, on between RPS, Revolution Power Sports, and my insurance company, Shawn Meyers Insurance Service LLC, on who could write the most Google reviews.
Yes, we did.
Who ended up winning that contest?
I think landslide, RPS took the win is the appropriate terminology for that.
Yes. You guys absolutely dominated us. And the reason I'm bringing that up and sharing that is because it's a testament to what we're talking about. And I think I shared this in the mastermind group with you, because there's no way that Ariel does that by herself. There's no way that Micah does that. You guys were in unity. You were aligned with this goal in mind. And y'all were able to get to, within 3 years, over, I think y'all are up at upwards of 525 5-star reviews, right?
Yes, we are.
Google reviews, which is so awesome. It's taken the insurance company just short of 10 years to get to 500 plus reviews. And I just want to acknowledge that about you and the team, man. When y'all put your mind to something, Ariel, just when I have gotten to know you and the things and the tasks and responsibilities and who you're becoming at RPS and Revolution Power Sports, and really formulating your role and what you're doing and who you're becoming, it's incredible to watch, to be on this journey with you, because you're a part of that, whether it's hiring or the systems and processors or podcast, marketing, advertising. You've got your feet in these things and you're kind of testing the waters. Like, what do I enjoy doing? What depletes my energy? What gives me energy? And then designing and aligning it with the life that you want to live with your kids, and going to the football, the sporting events, and doing all these things. And that is what we're all about at Level Up and Live. And at the same time, not sacrificing these other areas of life, our relationships with our husband, our spouse, our kids, our health, and our spirituality. And all this is different seasons of life, and there will be sacrifices, but just being aware and being intentional. Think about the hyper focus that y'all did at RPS at Revolution Power Sports for the 500 Google reviews. Do you get to 520 plus Google reviews, which is over, I think y'all did over 100 Google reviews within a matter of 30 to 45 days. Do you get to that if you don't hyper focus on that?
Absolutely not. No.
There's no way.
No, we set our mind to beating you. No offense.
Hey, whatever it takes. It goes, exactly. But remember your story at the beginning of the podcast, the episode where you shared your story about Harley-Davidson.
Yep.
When that guy told you, he said, you can't do something. You can't sell any bikes, or whatever it is that lit you up, man, that is your sweet spot, Ariel.
Absolutely.
And I see that in you, and I see that you in the team, and you're leading by example, and you're a big part of that. I know anybody listening to this can hear that conviction in your voice. So I just want to acknowledge that about you. I think that's just so awesome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. How do you, for our listeners and audience that are business owners, and they have a team, maybe it's 1, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 15. How do you keep your team motivated and aligned, especially in a high energy business like the power sports industry? How do you keep them motivated and aligned?
We have our core values here at Revolution, and integrity is the top of the list. And everybody here drives with integrity, and that's pushes everybody here. And as long as we all stay aligned with the same goal of being successful, we'll never fail.
Yeah. How often do you have that conversation with core values? When does it typically show up? Those core values, conversations, vision, mission. When does that typically show up? Is it just in meetings? Is it one-on-ones? Is it when you are in person? Is it when performance dips? When does those core values conversations pop up?
It could come into play anytime. Your integrity could be, how you address a customer, how you talk to somebody. It could be, one little thing you did or didn't do on a bike. It's something you have to always have on the top of your mind, whether it's being addressed in a conversation or not. It's something that you should have yourself. We do have, monthly meetings, and we'll have private conversations and lunches and all kinds of other things where we may sit down and focus a little bit more on that. But really, my team here, it's the driving force behind everything we do. So it doesn't always have to be a sit down. It doesn't always have to be a conversation. It can just be a daily thing that we use to push us forward and how we want to run our business and how we want people to see us when they come in here and handle any part of the process with any of our team.
I love that. And that's a key ingredient to a healthy business, because now it's not about what Ariel says or what anybody at the company says. It's about, hey, I've removed myself. These are our core values. These are our values. This is what helps with our decisions. This is what helps with the output. And what I'm hearing you say is, by being intentional and everybody being on the same page with those values, then that ultimately helps with how they show up, how they speak to customers, and ultimately really creates that strong driving culture based off those values, and that allow you to ultimately get to that mission and then the vision of the company. Is that what I'm hearing you paraphrase?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I love it. Now, for our listeners that don't know Ariel like I do, getting to know you over the last several months, who was Ariel back then? I'm talking back then, like OG Ariel versus who Ariel is today. The lady that I'm talking to on the podcast today, and this student that is becoming that 10.0 version. What's changed the most in how you see yourself today?
Honestly, I think younger Ariel had no intent. I didn't have direction. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know who I wanted to be. I was out searching. I had plans to be a doctor at one point in my life, and actually had letters coming in from Baylor my freshman year of high school, and life just didn't work out in that direction for me. And so I really went around kind of just finding myself and figuring out what I did and what I could do that was best for me, and what I really found brought me energy and did not deplete my energy. I did lots of jobs. Last year I'm still working on an accounting degree because I found that numbers seem to be my spot. My, being in sales and finance, it's all I deal with all day. It's numbers. And it's something I found, that really is something that drives me. I love to sit down and work out a deal and work out numbers for somebody. But I spent a lot of time searching for that one little thing that just gave me all the energy that I needed to continue to do it every day. And it took me a long time. It was not an overnight process. It was a lot of trial and error, a lot of different jobs that I did throughout the years. But at the end of the day, I found that being that face-to-face with a customer, selling them something that they love, selling something that they can enjoy, and then on the back end of it, getting to work numbers for them and just make that dream a reality. It's really just what brings me to work every day, what I love to do.
Man, that's really interesting to me, because I'm sitting here thinking, listening to you share that. Obviously, you've put a lot of deep work behind the scenes and have really come to doing a lot of work on yourself and that self-awareness on what allows you to come alive and what depletes your energy. And I love seeing that with you. And I think a lot of our audience, that's relatable to our listeners, in hearing that, feeling that, and with that conviction, that authenticity. Because if you can design that life that you want to live without regretting, because none of us want to get into a role or a business or a career that we pick our head up and go, what am I doing? Why did I? And I'm 10 years into this thing and I don't love it. I hate it. I'm miserable. And what I'm hearing you say is that you've really reflected these last several years on what it is that you enjoy doing and you don't enjoy doing. And I can hear it in your voice. And it got me thinking, when you started talking about financing and being the sales manager, as far as the numbers and crunching, maybe there's something there, worth exploring. I don't know what that looks like, but man, just hearing in your voice, like, oh, this is something that I can just like go all in on and double down, triple down on. Do you resonate with that? Or how is that being received?
Oh, absolutely. Numbers have always been something I've just loved. That's why I went back to college last year to continue pursuing an accounting degree, because it was just something that, it's something that really again, brings me that love, that energy. And it's something I can still do in my daily job, something that being the sales and finance manager allows me to do. And
Yeah.
it's really something that becoming that salesman at Harley allowed me to really just open my eyes to be like, oh my gosh, I just love sitting here with a customer and going, yeah, man, I got you, dude. You can just take it
Yeah.
home today, and just the joy in their face. And it was
Yeah.
just something that I just found like, I can almost match the feeling by riding my motorcycle, but I just can't quite match it exactly. And
Yeah.
it's something that I just love to do. And now it's like something I get to do every day now. And so I love coming to work, and I love my team, and I love getting to do something that I just genuinely love to do.
That's beautiful. And for all of our listeners in the audience that are listening to this, they can do that too, right? They can actually wake up every single morning and go into a career, go into their business, and do what it is that they want to do. They're going to have setbacks. They're going to have challenges. They're going to have good days, bad days. That's anybody in life. But you know that you're there for the bigger picture. You know you're there for the values and the vision and the mission. And then you know you're in that seat. You're the right person in that seat. And if that's what it is that's going to help drive the needle towards the mission, and that's what you're really good at, then why wouldn't you double down, triple down on that and go all in if that's what really allows you to come alive? And I'm just speaking to the person, the Sean that was listening to this in his 20s and even early 30s, because I was doing a lot of things, Ariel, that I did not like doing. I was wondering why I was unhappy. I was miserable. I was frustrated because I saw the bigger picture and what I wanted my life to look like, but I wasn't doing what it is that I wanted to do. And now, fast forward, I'm almost, I'm in my upper 30s, and I'm finally figuring that out by doing what you did. Trial and error, getting my feet wet with it, trying this, trying that, and looking within. Am I happy? Am I not happy? Am I feeling alive? Am I doing the things on a daily basis and designing a life that I don't go to regret? And what I'm hearing you say is that you're on that journey, being a student of the game, to find out if that is the case. And once you do, cool. You may change 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months down the road. But at least now, the here and the now, the Ariel, where you are now versus where you were, like you said, hey, you're good. This is going to allow you to show up that best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Love that. So speaking of that, what strengths do you lean on most as a mom and as a leader, tying that in?
Oh, it's communication. Absolutely. It is 100% communication. There is no mind reader that works in this building or at my house. It is open communication with everything going on. My husband and I are very open about like our schedules and the kids and what's going on with them. And then of course the guys at work, we're all very open about everything. And not every business owner is going to reflect with that. They're not going to spend the kind of time that I may spend with my team, with their team. They may be a little stepped back or a little off hands. They may not be as hands-on as our team is here. But again, that line of communication is always going to be key for everything.
Communication has been the number one recommended skill set in the last several podcasts. I mean, in marriage, like you said, and in business. And even if we had to shut the episode down right now, that's what I would want people to take away is communication is so key. Over communicating with your customers, your family, your friends, your husband, your right hand, whatever it may be. Communication is key, and I love that you shared that because I couldn't agree with you more. Now, looking forward, what are some of the areas you're still working on yourself or at Revolution Power Sports?
I'm always working on something. I don't feel like I'm ever perfect. So I'm always striving to just do one step better. I kind of set like a little daily goal of getting things done. I'm learning a lot from the guys in Mastermind, actually, with setting goals, just obtainable goals throughout the day. So it's fine tuning the things that I know that I'm good at. But it's also realizing that I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes, and it's a learning process along the way for everything. And I'm just going to have to kind of sometimes roll with the flow, just a little bitty bit. And I might have to take a few things as they come, roll with the punches a few times.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think everybody's a work in progress, and I'm just trying to be the best version I can for my team and my family, and just growing as we grow.
How do you want to be remembered as a mom, a wife, and a business leader?
I think I want to be remembered as the hard worker, the go-getter. My husband calls me the fire at our house, like the person that's, gonna push everybody to try something new and branch out and just be themselves. And I think that's all I think I will count that as a successful life if that's how my kids and team and friends and family all remember me in this life.
Well, I think that's beautiful. And I appreciate you sharing that. And we're going to be able to listen to that. Your kids are going to be able to listen to it. Your husband's going to be able to listen to it. And you're going to manifest that. So that's who you're becoming. And I'm a big believer in if we speak life into that, and that's who you're wanting to become and striving towards, then making sure that you're on that path. And like I know you will, and having people that's going to not only empower you, but hold you to those standards, hold you accountable, then it's not if, but when that happens. So love being on this journey with you, Ariel. I really appreciate you showing up today, pulling back the curtains on your story from motorcycles to motherhood to leadership. We've covered a lot of grounds today.
Yes, we did.
You definitely embody what it means to level up and live fully. So really appreciate you, and then just want to acknowledge that about you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Our Level Up and Live community, you have been nothing, Ariel, but value today. I mean, you have dropped so much insight. How can we at the Level Up and Live, how can we support you?
Just go out and find us online. RPS, ride.com, Revolution Power Sports, Facebook, Instagram. Have some fun on our stuff. We post lots of fun videos. Comment. Tell us what you guys want to see. We're always making some fun stuff around here. So we'd love to know what more fun we can have and post it out for you guys.
There you have it. Go check it out. Make sure you give Revolution Power Sports a follow and go support our local ATV and UTV. Reach out to Ariel. And outside of that, if you're a business owner in Montgomery County and want to surround yourself with high caliber leaders like Ariel, come check out the Level Up Live Mastermind group. We offer a 1-month free trial, your chance to plug into accountability, clarity, support, guidance, and community. Until next time, keep leveling up and keep living with intention. See you in the next episode. Thanks, Ariel.